Ну ладно.
Vilka dagar är det?
Arjuna. Arjuna.
Kan man höra det tror jag.
So we have still. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Rangjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Rangjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Rangjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Rangjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stotra Sata Shri Shri Matri Randa Goswami, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Kuri Vaishnavarinda Ki, Namacharya Shilade Das Thakur Ki, Prem Se Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki, Vrindavan Dham Ki, Navadvip Dham Ki, Ganga Maya Ki, Yamuna Maya Ki, Tulasi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Samavita Bhaktivedanta Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Bhagavad-Gita as it is, Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So this Bhagavad-Gita is also called the Book of Knowledge. It is the fifth Vedas. The fifth Veda, also it's mentioned like that in the Vedic literature. So the Vedic literatures are huge, so many Vedic literatures, and contains these literatures contains spiritual knowledge and material knowledge, and everything that we need to know about spiritual and material knowledge is there in the Vedas. So the Bhagavad-Gita is also the essence of the Vedas, and it is a book that is used in many universities all over the world as a textbook. So today this is chapter 10 of the Gita. There are 18 chapters, and in this chapter 10 there are 42 verses. This Bhagavad-Gita, it is a sacred song in the form of a battlefield dialogue between the Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna, his friend and disciple. Krishna, acting as Arjuna's advisor, instructs him in the science of self-realization, teaching him how to live as a devotee of the Lord and to thus reach the eternal spiritual world while continuing to perform his earthly duties. So it's a battlefield dialogue between Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and Arjuna. So here in this verse 18, in the 10th chapter of the Gita, it is Arjuna speaking to Krishna. So please chant the invocation mantra with me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Yes, so chapter 10, text 18. Arjuna speaking to Krishna. Vistarena atmano yogam vibhuting cha janardana bhuyak kataya triptirhi shrinvato nasti me mritam. Translation. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. I will read the translation again. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. So purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. A similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by the rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka. That statement is, Vayang tu navitripyama uttama shloka vikrame yastrinvatang rasagyanang svadu svadu pade pade yastrinvatang rasagyanang svadu svadu pade pade. Quote, one can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by Vedic hymns. those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish in every step descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord." Unquote. Thus Arjuna is interested to hear about Krishna, specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as Amritam, nectar, is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar, and this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of the incarnations of Godhead. For instance, the Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of the various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated readings. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated readings. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militang Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrachatang Saghana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitang Savadhutang Paritjana Saitang Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Saghana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Taptakang Janagorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vangchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now here in this conversation between the Supreme Lord Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna has just been explaining to Arjuna that he is the Supreme Lord. Now, if someone says he's the president of, let's say, the United States, that is very natural for him to say if he actually is the president of the United States. Similarly, here Lord Krishna, he reveals to Arjuna and to the whole world through the Bhagavad-Gita that he is the Supreme Lord. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvang pravartate iti matva bhajante mang buddha bhava samanvitaha. He says here, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. It's saying to worship Krishna. That person who is Buddha, Buddha means intelligence, he will engage in devotional service fully with his heart and soul and worship Krishna. He will engage in devotional service and worship Krishna with all his heart. Now, here in the material world, we are not doing that. We are worshipping our husband or our wife or our boss or money. We are not worshipping Krishna. That is our disease. But actually, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Gabhunaya. And Nitya Siddha, eternally, we are meant to love Krishna. Krishna Prema, that love which now here in the material world has been perverted to love so many other things. Some may even love his car, or some have some very deranged ideas, are very sick and love something else, like an object even. Yeah, like a car, but even something more perverse. So that Nitya Siddha, that eternal constitution of us is to love Krishna. For every living entity, even for the plants, for the animals, everyone who is living, who has life, eternally loves Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya. It's eternally established in the heart, that love. Shravanadi Shuta Chitta Kare Udaya. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya. Sadhya Kabunaya. It is not to be gained from somewhere else. Krishna Prema, worship of Krishna, is not unnatural for us. It's not something we have to put inside us or force inside us. It's already there. It just has to become revealed. How? Shravanadi. Beginning, Adi, beginning by Shravana. Then, Shuta Chitte Karye Udaya, it is revealed Udaya. So, now what happens here is after these revelations of Krishna, this revelation that he is the Supreme, and further revelations that Krishna gives, now Arjuna says to Krishna that Arjuna starts speaking, and he starts saying, yes, you are the Supreme Lord. I can read this for you. This is a very important section of the Bhagavad-Gita. So he's saying, Parang Brahma, Parang Dhamma, Pavitrang Paramang Bhavan, Purushang Shasvachang Divyam, Adi Devam Ajang Vibhum, Ahustvam Rishya Sarve, Devarshira Nadadas Tatha, Asito Devalo Vyasa, Svayam Chaiva Bravishime. You are the Supreme Brahman. So Arjuna speaking to Krishna. You are the Supreme Brahman. The Supreme Brahman. You are the ultimate. You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are unborn and all-pervading beauty. And you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narada, Asisa, Devala and Vyasa proclaim this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. So this is very important that here Arjuna is mentioning that all the Acharyas is proclaiming that Krishna is the absolute truth. So anyone who's not an animal, who's a human being, will search for the absolute truth. Will try to know, who am I? What's the purpose of this life? What's this world? Is there another world where I can live eternally? What is love? What is happiness? That is the difference between humans and animals. Animals cannot ask themselves these questions, but humans can. So any intelligent person, any human being actually, will understand that he's suffering. Srila Prabhupada says like that. Difference also between a human being and an animal is that the animal thinks he's happy. So if we think we are happy, which is a very common philosophy now in modern time, I'm happy. So then we are actually an animal. The animal is happy to eat and sleep and mate and defend. But a human being will not be happy like that. So here in the Bhagavad-Gita, which is the essence of all Vedic literatures, Arjuna is saying that you are proclaiming yourself, that you are the Supreme Lord. And all the great Acharyas in the past, Asita, Devala, Vyasadeva himself, Narada Muni has also said this. And Arjuna is now also understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. The cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara Parama Krishna, the Supreme Controller. So who was Arjuna? Arjuna was specifically chosen by Krishna to have this knowledge revealed. That means he was most qualified. So this is very important that we understand that who are we? Who are we compared to Arjuna? So now if Arjuna is saying that Krishna is the absolute truth, and all these great sages and the Bhagavad-Gita is saying that Krishna is the absolute truth, then we should actually accept this. Or if not, we cannot do that, then we should have some respect that this might be a fact. And actually it is a fact. So now, here, further on, Arjuna starts explaining that, he says here, in the next verse, this is text 14, and we were reading now today's verse is text 18 here in the 10th chapter. So here in text 14, Arjuna is saying to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods nor demons, O Lord, know thy personality." He's saying here, I accept in totality, all that you have told me. It's not that we take the parts of the Bhagavad-Gita that we like. No, we should follow in Arjuna's footsteps. Because he's the great example that Krishna chose to reveal this knowledge to. And he's saying Sarvam etat ritang manye Yanmang vadasi Keshava. Sarvam etat ritang manye. I totally accept this truth fully, not just some part of it. Because these are perfect revelations by the perfect Supreme Being. And then we can continue here, Arjuna. So then Arjuna says, try to pay attention. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potency, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O Supreme Person, Lord of the universe. So God of gods, of all gods, He is the God. Please tell me in detail of your divine powers by which you pervade all these worlds and abide in them. How should I meditate on you? In what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord? And then he speaks the verse here, text 18. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. So this is the Supreme Lord, Raso Vaisaha. He is the reservoir of all pleasure, of all nectar. Because the nature of the living entities, it is that we are Satchidananda. We are eternal, Sat, we are Chit, we are full of knowledge, and Ananda, we are full of bliss. And every living entity, they want these things naturally. We want to live eternally. We naturally protect ourselves from diseases, so we naturally are afraid to become diseased. That's why there are doctors and like that. We go to the doctor or we take some precaution not to get diseased also, because we want to actually. It's natural to live eternally. We don't want to die. Even someone may claim, I don't mind. But if you tell that it's a false philosophy. If you actually ask that person, well, if someone asked you to shoot you right now with a gun, would you say yes? Then, well, no. But actually, it's my philosophy that I'm not afraid. Or when I'm old, I'm not afraid. But how do you know that? Most people, even they're old, they will also say no. Well, just wait a little bit. So we are afraid. We want to live eternally. When we go in the car, we put the seatbelt. And Chit, we want knowledge. We are naturally attracted to knowledge and Ananda, pleasure. But the reservoir of all pleasure is Krishna. There is no rasa, there is no higher pleasure in this world than the pleasure that comes with being with Krishna and with exchanging with Krishna. And that's also that is what Arjuna is saying here. I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. In the Ramayana, when the sons of Ramachandra, Lavan Kush, they were narrating the pastimes of Ramachandra. It was so nectarious. The people of Ayodhya, they were so captivated. They were in the transcendental world. And even at one point, Ramachandra, he appeared at the scene. Did you know what happened? Do you know what happened? They didn't notice Ramachandra's appearance there because they were so absorbed in hearing about the Ramachandra. Now, the name, the form, the activities, the pastimes, the qualities of Krishna, they are none different from him. This you may know already, but it's nice to explain. The example that Prabhupada often gives is the water. If you are very thirsty and you chant or pronounce water, 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 will that quench your thirst? If you're in the desert and you don't have water and you sing or you chant water, 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 will that help you? No. So the name water and the substance water is two different things. Same example, the mango. If you say mango, 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 will you have the nice taste of a mango? Well, you might get some idea, But why do you go and buy the mango or pluck it from the tree? Because there is a difference. So, but Krishna's name and his form is absolute. They are non-different. Abhinatvan nama naminoho. Nama chintamani Krishnas. Nama chintamani Krishnas. The holy name of Krishna is just like a touchstone, a chintamani. Like a touchstone means they do exist. We don't have experience now in this world, but there is such a stone that anything you touch can turn into gold, or you can wish anything with that stone. So that the holy name of Krishna, Nama Chintamani Krishnas, the holy name of Krishna is compared to a wish-fulfilling touchstone. It can give you all desires, what you have, material or spiritual. Of course, we should be intelligent enough to desire spiritually. So Nama Chintamani Krishnas, Chaitanya, it is conscious. It is not a dead alphabetic sound, the holy name of Krishna. It is Chaitanya. It is conscious. We may not understand because we are materially covered, but that is a fact. Chaitanya Rasa, it is full of all pleasure, of all nectar. And it is the exchange we desire here in this world with other beings. That exchange of love and pleasure, it is in perfection in Krishna's holy name, which is non-different from Krishna. Chaitanya Rasa, so this pleasure, this taste, this juice, this enjoyment, it's unlimited in Krishna's name. Here, every pleasure is limited, right? And it's very temporary, and it has there's a bill to it to pay. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, the holy name is the form of the Lord. It's a form actually, sound form, sound incarnation of the Lord. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Kali Kale Nama Rupe in Kali Yuga. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. The avatar of Krishna in Kali Yuga is Nama Rupe, the holy name of Krishna. Actually, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Iya heute hoy sarva jagat nistar, and it can deliver the whole universe, and you also included in the universe. So it can deliver you. So Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Purna, the holy name of Krishna, is complete. Purna is perfect. We are longing for something perfect, in our friend, in our partner, in our parents. We want them to be perfect, and we want ourselves to be perfect. It's very natural actually, but we are looking the wrong place. We are supposed to look towards Krishna. That's why Krishna says there's one who is intelligent with all his heart, he worships Krishna. Purna Shuddho, the holy name is pure. It's totally pure. When you perform this austerity, it's totally pure by chanting the holy names. Yagyanang japayak yosmi, Krishna says, of all japas, of all yagyas, I am the japa yagya. When we chant holy names. Purna Shuddha Nitya, it's eternal. The holy name is not temporary. It's not something that will go away. It's eternally with you, and Krishna is eternal, and his holy name is eternal. His pastimes are eternal. They manifest here in this world temporarily, but his pastimes also in the material world, but in the spiritual world, they are eternal. And then Abhinatvan Nama Naminoho. So his name, Abhinatvan Nama Naminoho. Nama and Naminoho. The name, Nama, and the Naminoho, the possessor of the name. They are non-different. Abhinatvan. Abhinatvan. So like I said, the holy name, the form, the qualities and the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, they are all absolute. So this Shravanadi Sutta Chitte, by reviving our natural position or on realizing our eternal identity as a servant of Krishna, that's by Shravanadi, by Kirtan, Harinamanu Kirtanam. So, and Sankirtan, and that is also to discuss the Krishna Katha. So this is what Arjuna is asking here, or is speaking about here. He's saying, tell me again in detail, O Janardana, O mighty, of your might. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. So now everything here, we tire of hearing some subject matter after some time, but because Krishna is absolute, and we mentioned, he's full of all the rasas, there is this taste, which is no comparison. We will never tire of it. Actually, Nama Nama Rasa, it's ever fresh and new. Or here, Svadu Svadu Pade Pade. The more we discuss the pastimes of Krishna, or discuss his qualities, or discuss his philosophy, his teachings, his form, the more we relish an ever fresh new taste. So, but that we have to understand that if we don't do that, then we are in a disease condition. But the more we chant, the more we hear the Krishna Katha, the more we will relish it, we will develop a taste. And we will develop laulyam, eagerness, to always congregate with devotee and hear more and more about Krishna. It's like if you love someone, let's say you love your wife, you want to know so much about her, and you want to know so many details. So similarly, there will be an eagerness or a friend. Similarly with Krishna, he's the Supreme Lord. He's full in all opulences. He's the most beautiful person. He's the most famous person. He's the most knowledgeable person. He's the most renounced. He's the richest person. So he's the most powerful person also. So imagine such a person. If you actually met such a person, can you imagine meeting such a person? You may have met many nice people or many wonderful people in this life. Maybe also many people that you say, I'll never want to meet them again. You know? So, but imagine you met such a person with all the good qualities that we know that Krishna has. How you would be mesmerized, how you would fall in love with such a person. And that's actually what's the nature of us. Just like Srila Prabhupada gives an example. Just like you have a small child crying. So he goes from one lap to another lap. One woman's lap to another lap, but keeps crying. But once that child comes to the lap of his own mother, what happens? That child stops crying. Similarly, we are trying to find this love in this world in so many beings. And we are forgetting to find it, or we are not serious enough to find it with Krishna, who is actually our natural, he's the natural object of our love, eternally. So like in Vedic times, in old times in India, in the evening they would congregate, they would assemble, the people, they will assemble, and they will hear about Mahabharata and Ramayana. They will take pleasure in this. And by that, they will purify their heart. They'll purify their heart to understand who they eternally are and what their purpose of life is. And to develop that gradually more and more, that love of Krishna, which we're all longing for. Either we know it or we don't know it. So those who don't know, they should know by taking advantage of the Bhagavad-Gita and the teachings of those who follow the Bhagavad-Gita. And those who know, they should find serious devotees and associate with them and chant the holy names and discuss the qualities and the pastimes of Krishna. Then the heart will be purified. Now we watch movies and in this world we know that there is not this taste. Many people don't have this taste in Krishna, Katha, and in Krishna's name. But once we start taking the medicine, you can say, then gradually it will become very sweet. It is sweet actually, but we have the jaundice, pito patapta, avidya, this jaundice. But very easily we can get the taste if we are sincere. Then here, svadu svadu pade pade. Here actually it's this verse from the Bhagavatam. This is very interesting. So there are more than 80,000 sages and saints assembled around 5,000 years ago. Why did they come? Because they knew Parikshit Maharaj, he had only 7 days back to live, 7 days left to live in. So because he was such a great soul, they wanted to come and meet him. And different sages, they gave different advice. You can perform this kind of yoga, this austerity, this giving charity. They had different advice to King Parikshit, who was the emperor of the whole world. But they came from all over the universe. Narada Muni was also there, the spiritual master Srila Vyasadeva. So they were all there. Then who came? Shukadeva Goswami came by the providence, you can say. Of course, it was all arranged by the will of the Lord. So when he came there, then all the sages and saints, they unanimously accepted Shukadeva Goswami as the spiritual master. Gurung Muni Nam, the guru of all the great thinkers. There was no fight about my path is better than yours. I am better than you. I know how to. There was no fight there, even though there are more than 80,000 sages and saints assembled. They didn't start fighting. No, Durga is supreme. Lakshmi is supreme. They all accepted the teachings of Shukadeva Goswami, who also in the Bhagavatam says that Krishna is tu Bhagavan Swayam. Then the conversation begins because Parikshit is asking questions. What is the duty? What am I supposed to do? And especially I'm about to die. So what is my duty now? So Shukadeva Goswami, he explains what his duty is. So for 7 days, imagine, so all, not formally, but in their hearts, all these sages, they accepted Shukadeva Goswami. That he was, there was no comparison. He was the greatest among them. So let him speak. So he spoke about the glories of Krishna's name, the glories of Krishna's qualities, his form, and he spoke about Krishna's activities. So then for 7 days, what happened? Do you remember? What happened in these 7 days, during these 7 days? The conversation between Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami was going on. So Shukadeva Goswami was answering the questions of Parikshit. Many questions. Because Nigama Kalpataror Galitang Phalang, that the essence of all Vedas, even higher than the Bhagavad-Gita, because like Prabhupada says, it's the entrance into the Bhagavatam. But Nigama Kalpataror Galitang Phalam is the Vedas is just like a tree of knowledge. And the fruits, the most ripened fruit is the Bhagavatam. Nigama Kalpataror. This is the ripened fruit of the Vedic literature, Nigama. So then for 7 days, no one ate anything or drank anything or slept. They were totally absorbed in the Krishna Katha for 7 days. So what higher taste they must have had. There's nothing higher than it. And like we hear here, one can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by Vedic hymns. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish in every step descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. So when we are in relationship with Krishna, he's eternally there. He's there in our heart, he's eternally there. So we can always have this exchange. Because it's not, conditioned, or it doesn't matter about the externals. Here, if there's no food, or if the friend is not there, we cannot have that enjoyment. We cannot have the enjoyment of eating the food If it's the food, we cannot have the enjoyment of exchanging with the person if the person is not there. So, but Krishna is he's already there. He's always there. So a devotee doesn't desire anything else. He's desireless because Krishna is already there in his heart. So he just desires to love him more and to serve him more. And that's really the juice of life, to serve Prakriti, to give enjoyment to others. Because we are Prakriti and the Lord is Purusha. We can never change that. And we should be happy that we can't, because Krishna actually gives us a higher enjoyment by when we experience how the nectar of serving him. So here, one can never be satiated. So we think, oh, we are used to being satiated by, we eat some food and then we become satiated, right? So then we feel. But here it's like a constant, we will never be satiated. That is a satisfaction in itself. And that we always, it just means that we are hankering for more and more and more and more. Anything else in this material world we're hankering for more and more is not good for us, you know. It will just make us more and more sick. But Krishna, when we hanker for more and more interaction with him and to know more about him, to love him more, that is something that makes us more and more happy, more and more healthy. So then, how do we do that? By associating with good devotees who have that taste. So we should seek out those who have the proper knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme and have the taste for Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities and Krishna's pastimes. And we should listen. Shravanadi, it begins with listening. We should listen and we should enjoy this Krishna Katha instead of enjoying all kinds of other enjoyments. So this may be a gradual process, but gradually, we will realize who we are, who the absolute truth is, Krishna, and we will realize ever fresh new taste at every step of our lives. Thank you very much for listening. It was very kind of you to come here today. Now, if maybe there are some questions or like that. Questions? There is one, I can tell one last pastime about the holy name. So, the sun god, he was performing severe austerities to please Lord Sri Krishna, because he knows Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and he knows that being with Krishna is the highest pleasure that exists, and it's anandam buddhivardhanam, it's ever increasing. So then, performing these severe austerities, then finally Krishna appeared to Surya Bhagavan, and he said, I'm very pleased with you, I would like to give you a boon. So the sun god said that your internal potency, Krishna, your internal potency, Ahladini Shakti, Golokeshwari, may that person, may she become my daughter. And Krishna said, so be it. When I come in Dvapara Yuga, when I appear on the earth planet, then you will take birth there. You will become, you will be Vrishabhanu, and you will have this internal potency, Radharani, as your daughter. Of course, this is all a pastime. So she's eternally from the spiritual world, but she comes here, Krishna, and yes. So when Krishna came here to perform his pastimes, he brought Radharani with her, his internal potency. So then at that time, when it was time for Krishna to appear here on earth planet, then that time, sun god took birth on this earth, and he came as Vrishabhanu, and his wife Kirtida. So then they couldn't get a child. they couldn't have a child. So then, by performing severe austerities, giving charity, performing yagyas, doing pujas, one can get the piety, the credit to receive a child. We know that, right? So, but still, they were performing so many austerities, but they couldn't still get a child. Then, finally, Kirtida, the wife of Vrishabhanu, said that I have full faith that Lord Sri Krishna will, or if we worship Katyayani, who's also known as Durga or Parvati, the wife of Shiva, if we worship Parvati or Katyayani, then she will surely bless us with a child. So Vrishabhanu, he felt this was true. So he went to the Govardhan. They were living in Vrindavan, where Krishna was to appear. So he went, Vrishabhanu, to Govardhan at the bank of the Yamuna. At that time the Yamuna was there. And he was standing, meditating on Katyayani. Then, after him performing this meditation, after some time, Katyayani spoke from the sky. She was invisible, he could not see her, and said that, I'm very pleased with you, and you go and you should chant the holy names. You should chant the Maha Mantra. You should chant the holy names of the Lord, and you go and surrender to Kratu Muni, who is here. And Vrishabhanu said, where is he? So Katyayani spoke that you just go down the road and you will find him. He's in a cave. So he did what she said, the Devi said. And so he went and he found Kratu Muni there and surrendered to him, because we are to accept the holy name in the disciplic succession. So that time Kratu Muni spoke that this, and what mantra, this was spoken by Katyayani, that this mantra will, by chanting the holy name, by receiving mantra in the disciplic succession from Kratu Muni, you will qualify, you will be able to call Radharani here to actually have a child. So then, when he surrendered to Kratu Muni, who was there in the cave, then Kratu Muni spoke this verse where he says that this holy name is the essence of all Vedas, and it can give you everything. And so that actually at that time there is in the Brahmanda Purana. Then he gave the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then he said that even you worship, you see Ganesh as as the Supreme Lord, or you see Shiva as the Supreme Lord, or you see the Sun God. Whoever you see as the Supreme Lord, you just chant this Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you will get purified. So this Maha Mantra, it's for all gods, but ultimately Krishna is the Supreme. But Kratu Muni spoke like that. Even you don't believe Krishna is God, you think it's Surya or Ganesh, or you are attached like that, but you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. There's a Maha Mantra, so why chant anything else? So then Vrishabhanu, he went to the bank of the Yamuna and he chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, loudly he was chanting. Then after some time, Katyayani appeared in the sky in her beautiful form with a golden sari, and she had a helmet and 8 arms, and she appeared to Vrishabhanu and said, what do you want? And Vrishabhanu said, actually I'm fully satisfied. That's another symptom of a devotee. Vrishabhanu was a pure devotee of the Lord. They don't want anything for themselves. So actually, even though they desired a child, it was unselfish of them. It was not a material desire actually, and not like in the material world. The people here, the souls here, the entities here are full of material desire. So he said, actually just by seeing you, because Durga is a devotee of Krishna, I am fully satisfied and I don't need anything else. But then he added, but if you want, you know my desire, you know my heart. So then Katyayani, she blessed Vrishabhanu with an oval-shaped golden box. And she gave that, the Devi gave that to Vrishabhanu and say, take that home to your wife. So she went very happily. It was a beautiful darshan of Katyayani. He went very happily home to his wife Kirtida, and all together, both of them, they opened the box, and inside the box there was this beautiful baby girl, golden, effulgence, golden form, and that was Srimati Radharani. So that was how she's eternal, but she appeared here. And it said that from the left side of Radharani, Lakshmi appeared. And from the left side of Lakshmi, Durga appeared. And it's also given in the Puranas that even the shadow of that baby girl, Radharani, who is the eternal potency of Krishna, even the shadow of Radharani cannot compare to the beauty of Lakshmi. So even though they are expansions, they are the same, but the topmost aspect of the internal potency of the Lord, the female aspect of God, is Radharani. All right. So if there are no questions, I think we can end here. Yes? Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to understand non-difference between name and Krishna, his name and Krishna. Would you mind to explain how practically we can understand this?
Yes, we don't have, or we might not have a spiritual experience. So it comes by practicing. We have to chant his name, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that theoretical knowledge cannot understand the absolute. There's no difference between the object and the name of it. So, yes, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that you have to put your hand into the honey jar, like by theoretical knowledge about how honey tastes. That will not make you taste the honey. Are you following? You cannot taste the honey by... Someone can describe to you how the honey tastes like, give you an idea. But if you have never tasted honey. So of course we are eternally from the spiritual world. So we know how service to Krishna tastes like and how sweet it is to chant his holy names. We know that, our soul knows that. But being samsara chakra, in this wheel of repeated birth and death for millions of years, Prabhupada said at one point in a lecture, he looked at all the audience there and he said, you've all had millions of births in this material world, suffering. So the three kleshas, we suffer here. So we don't have that taste or experience of that nectar of chanting Krishna's name, and that he's none different from his name. When we chant his name, it's actually him. Like Prabhupada says, when we chant the holy name, Krishna is dancing on our tongue. So we might not have that experience. This is just like that example that the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada gave, that it's just, if you didn't have any experience of tasting honey ever in this life, then you have to put the hand into the jar and yourself, no one can do it for you, and taste the honey. Then you'll get the experience how honey tastes like. So, like I was speaking about, we have this disease of jaundice, right? So the holy name, it is actually sweet.
When you say repeatedly jaundice, what is the meaning of jaundice?
So jaundice is a medical disease that
What are the symptoms?
yeah, like the symptoms, like one of the symptoms is that your body gets all yellow. Your eyes get yellow and the tongue gets yellow.
Vision get yellow.
Huh?
That is why it's called jaundice.
What is that?
Your vision get yellow.
Yeah.
Whenever you see it,
Yeah.
yellow.
Yeah.
So that jaundice.
Yeah.
But that is no concern with the memory.
This is an example. This is a material example. It means that one who is expert, who is a doctor, he can say someone has jaundice. Like when Acharya very boldly or very firmly says that this person is in Maya, because there are some symptoms. And this person is a pure devotee, just like Srila Prabhupada. He says that Bhaktisiddhanta is a pure soul. He knows that because he is expert.
But the real meaning is, to say jaundice means the person who is having the jaundice, he see everything yellow.
Yeah.
The same thing over here, they put the contrast example, jaundice. So we have to come out of jaundice. Whatever
Yeah.
we see yellow,
Yeah.
it is not important. We have to see from the other people's eyes.
We have to see through the eyes of Shastra, Guru Saru Shastra, Jnana Chakshu. And that knowledge comes from the soul, so we have to see through the eyes of the soul, right?
But every soul is a transmission and the receiver.
Yeah.
But here, something interrupted. So person see with his willingness and with his own idea. He
Yeah.
never think for somebody else.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, exactly.
And as
So
I say, today is a very auspicious day in India. And it's a public holiday, not being Sunday. If it is Monday, it's holiday.
yes.
Because our former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri was born on the same day, and he sacrificed his life for nation. Another
What's
one,
that? What's that?
Lal Bahadur Shastri, a former Prime Minister of India.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, everyone put aside. Just remember Mahatma Gandhi. He had done more damage to India. You can see on the Indian currency Mahatma Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. Just highlight only Mahatma Gandhi.
So what is the point? Because we are not
Because
discussing
no-
policy here.
Not policy. So when we talk and make a comparison to the present situation. So in India, they celebrate the, birthday of Lal Bahadur Shastri. That is also important for the young student. If you just put...
Well, it is not we should celebrate Krishna. Kirtaniya Sarahari. We are meant to eternally worship Krishna. And
there is no need for jaundice.
no, jaundice is there in this material world. You cannot avoid diseases. Like now the atheistic scientists, they think that we can stop diseases, or that's the idea they have. They want to be God. But Janma, Mrityu, Jada, Vyadhi. There will always be disease in this material world. Anyway, this is an example that the Rupa Goswami gives. Jaundice is like, there are some symptoms, and the doctor who is expert, he can say, this one has jaundice. Now, if you had to say, like for instance, that's the example I gave before, like Srila Prabhupada, sometimes he will call, like he called Nehru a rascal, for instance. So then you can say, who is he to call someone a rascal, or a mudha? But it is Krishna speaking, because this person has all the symptoms of a rascal that Krishna gives. So similarly, this is a good example of jaundice. A doctor, he is expert, so he has the right to say, this person has jaundice. When you say this person is a rascal, that doesn't mean the soul. You like Jesus said, you hate the sin, not the sinner. Because that is there in the 5th chapter of the Gita, that a person who is a pandit, he sees with equal vision, vidya vinaya sampanne, on anyone. Vidya vinaya sampanne, brahmane gavihastini, shuni chaiva svabhakecha, pandita samadarshanaha. He sees everyone with equal vision, but he also sees, the contamination. And the idea is that the jaundice means that what happens, jaundice is a disease where sugar water is the cure. Because this is the important example here that to the question that Prabhu asked, that that how can we understand or get a realization that the holy name of Krishna is absolute and it's full of all rasa. It gives this juice, this taste, enjoyment. This we can understand by this example of jaundice, that when we take it's a very good example that Rupa Goswami gives, that when we take the sugar water, which is the only cure, or it is a authorized cure for jaundice. If you have jaundice,
not the sugar water, sorry.
Yes.
Not the sugar water.
what is that?
That is called jaggery.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
That
So
is the medicine. And when you see jaundice, even an ordinary person can diagnosis. The nails became yellow,
yeah.
clothes became yellow, urinate became yellow.
Yeah.
So that are the symptoms.
Yeah, but there are different ways to cure jaundice, perhaps. But
Sugarcane juice.
Yeah, sugarcane juice. So that the sugarcane juice, actually, when you have jaundice, everything tastes bitter. You know, that's a fact. It's not that like this modern idea, that, no, there are truths, material truths, like gold melts before iron. It's a fact, for instance. And jaundice, if you have it, then everything tastes bitter. That's just how it is. There are also spiritual truths, and you can discover those. So those truths, eternal truths. So this is one fact here, a medical fact, that if you have jaundice, everything tastes bitter. But the cure for jaundice is sugarcane water. So that sugarcane water, even is very, very sweet. It even tastes bitter. But that is because we are in illusion, and that's because we are sick. So actually, for the soul, we have this taste, this enthusiasm, utsahan, for chanting the names of the Lord, for seeing the forms of the Lord and the qualities of the Lord, hearing about them and His pastimes, and Krishna's pastimes. But now, because we have jaundice, they are bitter, But actually, they are sweet. So the more we gradually, anudinang, every day, kintvadara anudinang kalushaiva justa, svadvikramad bhavati tadgara mula hantri, then that disease, mula hantri, by the root mula hantri is destroyed. When we take this jaundice, when we take this sugar candy regularly and attentively, then gradually we will get to taste. We will get cured, and we can taste how the name is sweet. Yeah, you have to do it. And otherwise, if we don't believe it, make an experiment, make a test. Prabhupada said, make a test. Try 1 week. There are how many weeks? 52 weeks in a year. And in all Vedic texts, all the great sages of India, then this Maha Mantra, Sarva Vedeshu Vidyate, the essence of all the Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge means it's revealed. It's written down in Sanskrit, a spiritual language, which is even coming not from this world, it's from the eternal world, to preserve it, because Vyasadeva thought it wise, or he knew that it would be important to preserve it in this age of Kali Yuga. Otherwise, before, it was all through sound, this knowledge. So in the Vedas, it's revealed, and by all great sages, that the Maha Mantra is the greatest way to achieve perfection in life. So, why be so puffed up and we don't want to try it? So make a test 1 week or 1 month, and you will see it works. It's just like eating, or just like the sugar candy. It works. Or like eating, it's more an example where you'll get the immediate effect. When you eat, you're full. It's not like, oh, I have a different religion. So whatever religion you have, just like we mentioned about Kratu Muni, he was saying, whoever you worship, but chant this Maha Mantra. So let's say you're a Christian. By chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, the names of the Lord, you become a better Christian. Say whatever you are, whatever religion you have, whatever upadi you have, you improve. And you will feel the effect just like when you eat. No one can come and say that you're not full. You know yourself you're full, you know you got energy, and you know you are not hungry anymore. You're not suffering. So these 3 things happens. This is also in the Bhagavatam, 11th canto. that when you're actually spiritually connected, when you're connected with Krishna, you'll see three things happening, just like when you eat, So when you eat, you become full, the pain is not there anymore, and you get energy. It's the same when we worship Krishna. We'll gradually see him, we'll feel pleasure, we'll see him eye to eye. We will not have any pain more in this material world because so much pain here in this world. But instead of trying to negate the pain, we get this paramdristvani vartate, a higher taste, by the sankirtan, by discussing Krishna Katha and by chanting his holy names. All right, I think now we can have kirtan. So, yeah. Thank you so much once again. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
So do you want to play Karmanima with...
Maybe I can play Mridanga.
Okay. Where's now? Kirtan. Hare Prabhu, how many time do you have for Kirtan? How much time do you have for Kirtan? 15-20 minutes. Okay. Maybe we need to water it a bit. I'll drink some more.
Yes. Do you play?
Krishna, Krishna Sankirtan Yagi ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Haribo. Hare Krishna.
I need to ascribe it next. Could you perform the puja?
Yeah.
Yes. Then Ravi is preparing the mocha plate, the puja plate, and he'll come shortly.
Ты будешь гауру пить? Или
Я
что?
могу. Мы можем попить, может, еще.
Что?
Пока там готовится тарелочка.
Давай пить тогда.
Давай. We can sing a small Krishna while waiting. Prabhu is coming.
Yeah, so we can start now.
Give a moment for the come. But can forward the time.
Да, мне нужно, чтобы он подержал телефон.
Приданком вышли с кто?
Я буду с телефоном.
Ты бы не вам прикатил?
So you sing Bhagavad now?
Yeah, yeah.
Kiba Jayo Jayo Gaura Chandir Arati Koshoba.
Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Koshoba
Jana Vitatavani Jagamanaloba. Dakinitai chant Demigadadharam.
Dakinitai chant Demigadadharam.
Ikate Advaita Shrini Vasa Chatradhara. Vasiyache Gaurachand Ratna Simhasane.
Vasiyache Gaurachand Radha Simhasane.
Korena Brahma Adi Devagane
Arati Karena Bhama Adi Devagane
Narahari Adi Kori Chamaradulaya
Narahari Adi Kore Shamaradubala
Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Goshadigaya
Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Goloshadikaya
Shanka Baje Ganda Baje Baje Karatalam
Santa Baje Canta Baje Baje Karatala
Madhuram Ridanga Baje Paramarasala
Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala
Sanka Baje Ganda Baje Madhur 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 Baje
Canta Baje Canta Baje Madhur 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 Baje
Sanka Baje Ganda Baje Madhur 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 Baje
Canta Baje Canta Baje Madhur 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 Baje
Haribol
Haribol
Haribol Haribol Nitai Gora Haribol
Nitai Gora Haribol 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 Nitai Gora Haribol
Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujvala
Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Udvala
Kala Deshi Banamala Gori Jalamala
Gala Deshe Banamala Kore Janamala
Shiva Shuka Narada Premi Gada Gada
Shiva Shukanarada Preme Gada Gada
Bakati Vinoda Dehe Gorara Sampada
Bhakati Vinoda Dehe Gaurava Sampada
Shiva Shuka Narada Premi Gada Gada
Shiva Shukanarada Preme Gada Gada
Bakati Vinoda Dehe Gorara Sampada
Bhakati Vinoda Dehe Gaurava Sampada
Iba Jayo Jayo Gora Chander Arati Koshoba
Shiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati Kashoba
Jana Vikatavane Jagamana Loba
Jana Vikatavane Jagamana Lobha
Gorangera Rotik Shodha Jaga Janamana Loba
Gaura
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bo. Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Harinama Sankirtan Yagya ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Narasimha.
Did you pay? Yeah.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlada Hlada Daine. parato nrisimho. Yato yato yamitato nrisimha. Bahir nrisimho, hridaya nrisimho. Narasimha vadim sharanam prapare. Tava kara kamalavare nakama bhuta shringa. Dalita hiranyakashipo Tanu bringam keshavadrita narahari rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Narasimhadev Bhagavan
Ki Jai
Shilahad Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanand.
Haribo.
You see, it's always good. So. What do you want to say?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Now we are going to end the program, and now we will have the prasadam, and hope you we will meet the next Sunday again. Hare Krishna to all of you. Hare Krishna.